You are watching Auth Masterclass, and today we are going to start with the login flow, and we are going to use token based authentication for this one, right? So for this, what I need to do, I need to install the JSON Web Token library from npm. So let us quickly do that. So I will say npm install JSON Web Token. Okay. Now that being done, what I will do, I'll come to service, and here I'll create a new file and I will call it as login.service.js. Okay, so here we'll write all the login related logic, right? So I'll add the function. So I'll say login user, and I should say export const login user equals to async. Okay, this will take request and response, and it will be an arrow function. Okay, now first what we have to do, we have to destructure the username and password, right? So let us do that. So const username comma from request body, right? Now first thing what I need to do, I need to check if this username exists in our database, right? So for this, what I have to do, const user equals to await. Okay, and I will take the user schema and I will say find one. Okay, and find one how? By user name. Okay, then what I have to do, if this user doesn't exist, right? So I have to throw out error, right? So I'll say if not user. Okay, I will say return res dot status of 404 not found. Okay, and JSON with a message. Okay, I'll simply say failed to login. Okay, now since this is login flow, be very careful of what error message you are sending. Okay, you should not be sending very specific error message which says whether your username is incorrect or your password is incorrect, like that. Okay, because that will give more ground for attackers to create potential attacks. Okay, if they know your password is not correct but username is correct, right? So whatever is the error, just say fail to login, right? No need to give very specific information. Then what we will do, now the user exists in our system, right? Then we'll do the password validation, right? So I'll say const is password valid equals to, I will say await. Okay, then I'm going to use bcrypt. Okay, and before using bcrypt, I have to import it, right? So import bcrypt from bcrypt. Okay, then bcrypt dot compare. Okay, compare what? Compare what? So compare the password. Okay, the password that we are getting from the request body with respect to the user object that we are getting from the DB, that's password, right? So I'll say user dot password. Okay, so what this will do, this will do the password comparison for us. Okay, then if not is password valid, that means the password sent is wrong. Then what we will do, we will take this message and paste it here, right? We'll give this same error message, fail to login. No need to say password is not valid. Okay, simply you should say fail to login. Great. Now if this if condition doesn't execute, that means password is correct, right? Now what we have to do, we have to generate the JWT token and send it, right? So to generate the JWT token, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write some helper functions. Okay, so for this, what I will do, I'll go to src folder, and there I will create a folder called lib, and inside the lib, what I will do, I will say jwt.lib.js. Okay, so I am planning to write few JWT helper functions here, right? So first what I will do, I will create a function export const, I will say generate auth token. Okay, and this will take a payload object, and what this will do, okay, now to generate JWT token, what we need to do, we need to add a environment variable, and what we need to do, we need to add a JWT secret key, and where we will add, we will add it in the environment variable. Okay, so let us quickly do that. So I'll open .env, and here we have session secret, right? After that, what we will do, I will add another token, JWT auth token. Okay, so this is going to be the secret token that we are going to use for generating the JWT tokens. Okay, so here first what I have to do, I have to read the token value, right? So I will say const JWT secret equals to process.env dot, and what I will do, I'll copy this value. Okay, then what I will do, I will return. Okay, then before doing the return, what I have to do, I have to import the JWT token library, right? So I will say import JWT from, I will say JSON web token. Okay, then what this will return, this will return JWT.sign payload. Okay, then JWT secret, then it will take a object, configuration object basically, and one property that we are interested in is the TTL, or how long this is going to live. Okay, so I'll say 15 minutes. So usually this auth token should be short lived. Okay, and later in the flow we will see how we can create a refresh token, and that is supposed to be a long lived one. Okay, so for now what I'm doing, generating a auth token, and that is supposed to be short lived. For me, I'm doing 15 minutes. Okay, feel free to change the configuration, but the ideal logic is your JWT token is short lived and your refresh token is long lived. Now the definition of short and long depends on the business need that you are trying to solve. Okay, so I'm keeping it 15 minutes. Okay, now what I will do, I'll go back to login service, and here I will say const JWT token equals to generate auth token. Okay, then here what I have to do, I have to pass the payload, right? So what options I can pass, let me pass the username. Okay, and also let me keep the user ID. So I'll say user ID as user dot underscore ID. Okay, so with this payload I'm trying to generate the auth token. Right now, once this auth token is generated, what I will do, rest dot status of 200. Okay, and JSON, it will take a token whose value will be the JWT token. Okay, now once this is done, what I will do, and I noticed here we should end it with .js extension. Okay, otherwise it will throw error. Right now, once our schema is ready, what we will do, we'll go to auth route and attach the user service to our routes. Right, so I will say router dot post, okay, slash login. Okay, and what value it will take, it will take login user. Okay, now let me quickly start this server and see if there are any errors. We'll fix that. So no error, server started. Right, then what I will do, I'll open Postman. Okay, and here I'm sending a request to auth login, and I'm passing username and password. Right, so let me send the request. Right, so once I send the request, what has happened, it has returned me a JWT token. Right, great. So now we are able to generate a token. Now let us see how to use this one. Right, so for this, what I am going to do, I am going to create a dummy route, and I'll call it as protected route. Okay, and we will play around on that. Right, so we'll try to first secure that. So during that, we'll write all our validation middleware. Okay, so let me quickly do that. So for that, what I will do, I will come to routes and add a new route, and I will call it as protected.routes.js. Okay, import express from express. Okay, then const router equals to express.router, then I will say export default router. Okay, and I will say router, and I will say post, and I will say on slash on root path. Okay, what we will do, we will say request and response. Okay, and since and since this is going to be a very small function, I'm not going to put it in service. I'll just add it here. Okay, just one line. What we will add, rest.status of 200. Okay, and I will say JSON, and I will say message equals to this is a protected route. Okay, great. Now what we will do, we will go to index. Okay, and here what we will do, we will say import, I will say protected router from dot slash routes slash protected dot routes dot js. Okay, and then I will say app dot use on slash protected, I will attach the protected router. Okay, then what I will do, I'll go to Postman. Okay, and I will open the protected route. Okay, and I will send a request. Okay, so this is a protected route, right? So now unless we don't send authentication information, we should not be able to access this API path. Okay, so that is the target here. So for this, let's quickly write a validation middleware that will do the login validation. Okay, so I'll open VS Code. Okay, and in middleware, what I will do, I will add a new file and I will call it as validate jwt.middleware.js. Okay, great. So now what I will do, I will say export const validate jwt token equals to, and I will say request response and next, and I will add the arrow and I'll add the function body. Okay, so now how the JWT token will be sent to us? Of course, on a authorization header in terms of bearer token. Okay, now what do I mean by a bearer token? That means it's a convention of sending the token, and the token is sent like first it will be the bearer keyword, and after that the authentication token will be sent. Okay, something like this. So we'll have the bearer keyword and then we'll have the token. Okay, like this, some token will be there, right? So this is called as a bearer token. Okay, so what I will do, first of course I have to read the header. Okay, so what I can say, const token equals to request dot headers dot authorization header, right? Authorization. Okay, now on top of this, what I will do, we'll split it with space. Okay, because we'll have two keywords, right? One is bearer space the token, right? So I'll split it with this space. Okay, the 0th index will have the keyword bearer and the first index will have our actual token. So I will take the first index. Okay, now what I will do, I'll add a try catch block. Okay, so when I'm doing JSON token verification, if the verification fails, it will directly come into the catch block and we'll be able to handle it. Okay, right? And before we are able to validate, what we need the JWT secret key, right? So how can I get the JWT secret key? I will go to the JWT lib and I will just copy this line. Okay, and paste it here. So I need this JWT secret, right? Otherwise I'll not be able to decode the token, right? Because this is the secret that we use to sign or to encode the token, right? Then what I can do, I can say const payload equals to JWT dot verify, and before I do the JWT, what I need to import it, right? So I will come to the lib and what I will do, I will copy this line and I will add it here. Okay, so it will do the import. Okay, so we will say JWT dot verify. Okay, verify what? Verify the token. Okay, with respect to what? With respect to the JWT secret. Okay, right? So what will be the value of this payload? This payload value will be same as that what we sent in the login service. Okay, so if we come to login service, this is the payload that we sent to the generate auth token, right? So it will have the username and it will have the user ID. Okay, so this payload will have the username and user ID if this decode is successful. Okay, now what could be the reason this will not be successful? First is the token mismatch, right? The token was tampered. Second reason could be the TTL, time to leave. Okay, so the time must have expired. Okay, so if you see the lib, okay, it is 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, if you try to verify the JWT, it will throw error, right? So this is another reason the verification might fail. Okay, right? So the payload, we have the payload now. Once we have the payload, what we will do, we will take the request object and here we will add the user ID. Okay, so that next subsequent line of middleware or the service, when we have the request object, we will automatically have the user ID and that we can use it. Okay, so I can say payload dot user ID. Okay, and most importantly, what I have to do, I have to call the next method. Okay, then if this is not the case, what we can do, we can say return res.status, okay, 401, okay, unauthorized. You are not authorized to access because for some reason it came into catch block. That means your token verification has failed. Okay, so I will say JSON, okay, and I will say message. Okay, I can say you are not authorized to access this resource. Okay, you can add whatever error message you want to give. Okay, right, great. So now what we will do, we have to use this somewhere, right? So we have created the protected route, so let us go there, and what we can do as a middleware, we can add it. So we can say validate JWT token, right? And it is giving some error, right? So let us check. So here what it is saying, it is expecting this .js extension. Okay, so once I give this .js extension, because with this import syntax we have to give the .js extension. Okay, so our server is now running. Okay, now here, okay, I'm not sending any headers. Okay, let us see it will work or not. Okay, so what this is saying, you are not authorized to access this resource. Okay, great. So now our validation is in picture. We are able to validate whether we'll be able to access a resource or not. Okay, and why I was not able to access, because I did not send any authentication token. Now what we have to do, we have to come to the login, we have to copy the JWT token. Then what we have to do, we have to come to the protected route. Okay, come to either headers or authorization. Okay, here what we have to do, we have to send the authorization. Let me minimize this side key. Okay, so we have to send the authorization. Okay, and what we have to do, we have to say bearer, we have to paste the token, right? So I will copy and I will paste it here, right? So then only if I send, I'll get the message this is a protected route. Right, now can we write script? We can write Postman scripts, right? In previous video I have shown you how we can write Postman script to ease our task, right? So I don't always have to copy and come here, right? So what I will do, I will delete this one, and now if I send, what I am getting, you are not authorized to access this resource. Okay, so now we are not able to access this resource. Okay, so for this, what I will do, I'll go to login. Okay, and here I'm able to generate the token. Right, now I will show you the scripts. So I'll go to script section and I'll go to post resource. Okay, and here essentially what I am doing, so if you see what I am taking, I am taking the response, okay, from pm postman dot response dot json. Okay, that means whatever object I am getting here, that will be stored in the response object. Okay, or the response variable. Then in this response, if I have a token, okay, that means if this token exists, what I will do, I will set pm dot environment. Okay, the key will be auth token. What will be the value? The response token object. Okay, so I'll take the response and I will set the same response as auth token in the environment variable. Okay, so every time the login call is happened, the post script, okay, that means after the response is received, this set of code will execute and this will set the environment variables. Okay, now I'll come to protected route. Okay, I'll come to script and I'll come to prescript. Okay, here what I will do, now I'll read the environment variable, okay, with the same name. Which name? The name with which we have set, okay, that is auth t caps token. Okay, so here I am reading the auth token, and if this token is valid, what I am saying, pm.request.headers.add. okay, what this will add, this will add the authorization header with the bearer keyword and the token value. Okay, so now with this being done, what I will do, I will now send a request. Now it will say this is a protected route. Okay, that means I'm able to access it, right? Say for example, I will not send, I'll do some mistake here. Okay, that means it is not able to read the environment variable. Now is this going to send? So I will send up, I'll make a request to generate a new token. Okay, I'll come to protected route and I'm reading wrong value. This is just to demonstrate that this script is actually working. Okay, so if I misspell something and if I send, what this will do, unauthorized. Okay, you are not authorized to access this resource. Now if I remove this one and now if I send, this is the protected route. Okay, that means I'll be able to access this resource. Great, right? So we are taking the power of Postman script and we're trying to automate some of the manual things, right? Otherwise we have to come here, we have to copy, and then what we have to do, we have to go to headers and then we have to add value, then do the copy paste, and it will be hectic. And this is not only one protected route, right? You might have multiple routes which you are planning to add the token verification middleware, right? So this will be hectic. So what we'll do, we'll take the help of scripts. Okay, with this, the basic JWT token flow is completed, right? And what we will do next, we are going to learn about refresh token, where it is used, why it is used, and what are the security principles associated with this, right? So this video will conclude here, and in the next video we are going to start with the refresh token. Okay, now I really hope that you like this video, you learned something new, and if that is the case, do consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because this Auth Masterclass, I'm going to bring so much of content into this, right? So if you think this is useful, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.